Ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Arena Show. My name is Colin Sambai, and I would like to take this great opportunity to welcome each and every one of you and to thank you for tuning in tonight. Yes, we have taken a break to make sure that the next time we come to you live, we are bringing you a very seamless kind of interview. And as always, politics is heating up in the region. Mambo yamekuwa mengi sana. Wakati tumekuwa break tuliweza kuona for example kama hapo Wasingishu tuliweza kuona Bozeki aliweza kujoin serikali, aliweza kujoin Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Na juzi tena tumeona Gideon Moi. What I can say as my opinion is William Ruto seems to be the political master or the chess master over our lifetime. Kwa sababu sasa he knows the cards to bring on at the right time. Yes, he has made mistakes, but at the end of it all, he is human. Tumeona ameweza kuunite the people we never expected to join the government, but right now they are chanting Amakulu bila break. So anyway, tonight on our show we have a very important guest. This is not the first time he is on the show. Na tuliweza kuona aliweza kupresent a petition. This is the member of the county assembly for Nandi representing the people of the source ward, Honorable Maina Shangu. Tuliweza kuona alipresent petition ama ombi ya kurekebisha mambo ambayo yeye mwenyewe aliweza kuona hayaendi vizuri katika the governance ya county. Na we have him on the show, atakuwa ana explain zile mambo ambayo aliona hayaendi vizuri katika governance ya county government, na pia aweze kutuambia zile the suggestions ambayo aliweza kutoa. Asante sana. Welcome Bwana Shangu.
Thank you very much. Asante.
Karibu kwenye show for the second time.
I'm very happy to be here. And I say to our people, good evening. And I'm happy. Bye bye. Thank you, Collins, for having me.
Yeah, we always have, you remember this is a platform where we give our politicians, leaders and people shaping the region, we give them the voice. And to you the citizens, we give you the perspective. Uweze kujua ama kugeji ile mambo ambayo waheshimiwa wanafanya. So kuna petition ama hombi ambayo Maina Shangu aliweza kupresent pale Senate ambayo ili spark a national debate. Hadi akasamoniwa na the Justice, Legal and Human Rights Committee ili aweze kuenda ku-explain vizuri ndio ikuwe considered. So karibu sana, we are really looking forward to hear from you. Tujue zile ombi ambayo ulipeana ni gani.
Okay. Wacha nianze kwa kusema kwamba hii ombi ama petition hii imetokana haswa na baada ya mimi kuwa pale kwenye county assembly kwa muda karibu miaka 3 sasa. Kuna mambo mengi ambayo nimeweza kuyaona jinsi vile serikali inavyotekeleza mambo yake. Na nikisema hivi ninamaanisha serikali ya county ya gatuzi. Serikali kukiagere au kiamu janyoru tu chimejitoti kukinetai korok maybe Collins kotomo awe missing kangaitite ko ole kipketuye netai kabit ng'olyon nekakimwa kele appointment kokergei ak reappointment. So kangekwech koyok biik nguno governor communication konyo assembly. Kona biik mut kole chu kokariteine. Aka transfer koba in ngejerok alak cheterter. Tatyo kole chu somok ko kakono akoses chot.
Kole magiasisane
kole chekimi ko kako retain.
Ko qualify choto by
kekas nguno ng'olyon kole retain. Ko ng'olyon kure retain ko to eng sheria mami. Ng'olyon nemi sheria ko kile appointment. Ako mi kine kekure reappointment. Lakini kole sheria appointment ko kergei ak reappointment. Or rather reappointment ko kergei ak appointment.
Magat kevetan tugul nguno.
So yes. Tatche ko kangaitita yanena tunguno abwati aleni si kakaikai anyun kevetan chito korong nekomi ko mising kosir nekakimutu akot eng sang. Amu nekomi ko kokonyor nafas kwai tugun fulani. So either kokoai komie anan kokoi chilil. Konyo kakinam nguno nito kele acha kakichulenen iwe office kakitile yun akemut alak somok kele ngobwa yun. So kongyolen ang'ololchi sin nguno ngele choronok chuk chekakimite tugul yu alechi no kero ii mamwoe sheria ng'alechu. Kale sheria ii yo kakiri-appointen chito kokergei ak appointment. So koyach nguno korok Collins ataune yoto awo kotini. Amu kang'et bechu kosirto chek mamakeki sheria. Awe kotini ipapingan ale koyai gavana kit nekikure retaining ak transfer when he was actually doing a reappointment. So keyai ng'oliot notok akewinen. Kemwoch kele bitou kukeny. Kongono kole nenet acha matou ngang'et nga atesetai kora ak bichu koche. Anyway, ko kingokakomwa kunotok kole atesetai ak bichu koche kotesetai iman. So ko ng'oliot nguno agenge neboto ki nekasom Senate. Aleji nge kasan yuto.
Nguno ole kaelewante ko kele wale watu ambao walikuwa retained are the people that should be vetted most.
According to me.
According to you.
Yes. But you see, the law just provides that reappointment is the same as appointment. So when I went to court and argued on that line, they agreed.
Okay.
But now, you see the same law go provide on the Magat ko tinye jiji distinguished career in the area where they are being appointed. More at least 5 years. Ki already could get an issue with this. Amu kama kisub sheria, matunye distinguished career koro. Ma clear ang sheria kele distinguished career ko ne. Haya, magemwa kabisa categorically kele this yani ya maunot kumatken sirjito nemadnye sacha career. Na so kumakawe kotini nye. Tatya weke nyo koketchi kabichu kora. Ale na weke kotini kwenye. For contempt. Tatya leji kaya yarang kawe kotini. Ako kakali ya manget chungono job sheria. So one of the things nguno jaga kawe some Senate. Aleji kejuli yoto kumie. Kele yako kile distinguished career kone. Yako kile 5 years ko lazima. Yani mele kile optional nguno kende sheria kele of not less than 5 years, and then you just bring somebody without any career and put them to run the county. Now, kung gimi huto kora Collins, kung giger kumye, aga maja kung naibik chok, ngalaga kumi kiri ngolyo na tom kaya ngalale kumye. Particularly, ngamwa kora kole a petition, yani nge koshi na kora kele petition kone. Ndaki aseneta nguno kuni yasome, kukotoa mwenyewe ngolyo na nito in the form of a motion. Who is not a member of the Senate can petition the Senate. So I'm petitioning them just as like every other citizen, and I'm pointing out to them kwaro anes yongu 1, 2, 3. Chemana jikoto moro akwe kongete nga umiyoto for the last 10 years or 15. But because I'm outside, I cannot do anything. I have to petition them so that they take action. And when I wrote them this petition, they looked at it, they approved it and passed it on to the JLAC. And when they did that, the JLAC scheduled a meeting with me. And now, so we had that conversation, and they were all in agreement that yes, I was raising very substantive issues that required further attention, and that indeed for them, it was rather, they could not just make a decision, so we have to go to a retreat. So they are inviting me with them in a retreat. Probably in one of these places, either go Naivasha and go Mombasa, whatever, so we can have a conversation on what I want. Okay. So that's a petition. Now then, let's come to 174, Article 174. Article 174 kuna mwagoleni gigijobe counties the devolution for what purpose? Maja kogerbi kya kama ni mangan ngot koger kumie nito ni kure Constitution of Kenya 2010. Ko kiasom ale meje ngitinye nguno inji ne Nandi anan ko ne Kenya ko meje itinye kitabu ngitinye Bible ikanye koteteke ani si panganigei imeche iwe psengot iboisie Bible ipanganigei ole kiteptoi eng ng'onyuni ak nitoni. So nging'any 174 Collins ak amache asomin akot akinye ole si ngatkan tugul iker 174 komwoe ng'alek cheechen akobo ole kele kikichobe county governments kwai ne. Komameche keng'alale koekeny mising lakini ng'olyot agenge nekakimwa kole kimeche kiy nekure democratic and accountable exercise of power. Ero accountable. Ng'olyot nemi yosinye nguno kakile accountable. Ng'olyot nerube ko kakimwa kele kimeche kikochi biik kiy nekure self governance, power of self governance. Kakile koboigei biik. Ako participate ichegei wenyewe in decision making nebo the state. Ak ng'alek alak yu kobate mi ng'olyot age nebo nemi katikati yo tukchu ko sokol. Ko to promote socio economic development nebo biik. Nebo let nekamache mention nguno kamwa kole to enhance checks and balances. So this petition of mine is geared at enhancing checks and balances. So komuch nguno county governments ko deliver kit nekikimokyi kele kwai. So kamwaun ng'olyot agenge nebo CC. Ngeweke nguno kele CC ko ne? CC nito nikikure County Executive Committee. Ko kamoche amwaun Collins ale ngiker komie eng Article 179 komwoe kolen mi kiy nekekure County Executive Committee. Ako this County Executive Committee ko kamwa kele the executive authority of the county is vested in and exercised by a county executive committee. In other words, kakimwa kele kakikochi kimno committee. Governor provides kole the chair of the county executive committee shall be the governor. So among the things chekateb eng yu amu mawaluin mami ole ketebe governor question in county. Ole jam ketebe question kityo ko senate. Ako sa yu ketebe question chekilen kikiboisioito ano rabin. Lakini makitebe kele ang boisiet ko kiwendito ano. Nupkelen kabete rabinik sinye ngobet kayait boisiet korok.
Kobor kole imwoiwech ilechinech ndamwoe gavana nguno kolen kikiboisie 1,100 kechebe oret.
Yes.
Komami chi nekosub kolen makitebe kelen kotko kibois rabisiek choto.
Ikere nguno kotomo imwa ile kakiboisie rabinik ketechu kechobe oret. Tami inendet korok komoche kochoben. Yan tami koshughulikan inendet sinye na committee. Kamache akonin korok kotom kebe kunotok in Collins. Ngiker nguno kora in the same articles chu kamwaun. Inyo article 183. Kakikure eng yoto title kele functions of the county executive committee. Ko among the functions of the county executive committee chu kamache inoten ko kakile to manage and coordinate the functions of the county administration and the departments. To manage and coordinate. Kakile ngo noto?
Governor.
Aja county executive committee. County executive committee. Aya ng'olyono kami kose ngetebe MCA akatugul ko kelejini une in ng'alekab oversight. Who do you oversight? The question nguno kele who do the MCAs oversight? Ko kamwa kole the county assembly nito ko 185. 185:3. The county assembly, while respecting the principle of the separation of powers, shall exercise oversight over the county executive committee and any other organ. So county executive committee is an organ.
It is an organ.
It should be oversighted as an organ. But now what we see kongabgena nguno agenge ngakele oroni CC nebo barabara. Oroni CC nebo hela. Oroni ko joto cheketebe maswali lakini ko sayo makitebe chito agenge agengyo nakamwa kora katiba ini kole these members of the county executive committee shall be individually and collectively answerable to the governor. So what I have done with this is around two things. One, first of all, komwa kegende sheria kele ngo ne walu. Report nito nikikoito kele wendi assembly.
Ko ngo ne walu.
Nebunu county executive committee ko ngo ne ikoito. My proposal governor ne makat ko koito. Ako governor ne makat ko tebu ngony yundo ako wal maswali je kamangune that report amu kanenyi report as the chair anani tos kitebe ngo in Collins ngate yaga kile mi chairman in kele mi the members ak chairman ko ngoi ngobet nguno report ko ngone soinon
chairman
as angone ketebe
chairman
ko chairman ko governor lakini at the moment the governor is not required anywhere ko any question in the assembly he is not required to defend any report in the assembly the only time na magatu jonga ko assembly ko yap ko talk in the state of the county address annually and that's all agyoyote in a new assembly that's the only time but here 183 says regular and full reports regular sinye ko banjani ko magat ki ko every other time so that is one of my proposals now agele ngowal governor yondoni atya ko bwa kora akin where possible ko much ko miji tane ke gure the line person ngot ko miji nguno ba health ngomiji na ba education ngomiji na ba ano lakini muna kora kata tebe senator li katepto ngot ko kimwa kele committee ne indojin board ne indojin in county government kumie iskit je kwa kondoji everywhere yani magoi nyoru nguno sisi ne len ane aba barabara je mama ke ngale alak chun ane aba education mama ke health because what does the law say that the county executive committee is responsible for the coordination and management as a body magile ko jita genga so this is what I have asked the Senate to determine and therefore say agree with me kolei magat ke job sheria na county government act so ko goshin ko mie ak sheria ni dan sheria ni ko ndu in Kenya ni dan magat ko binganga so ko mi yoto nguno ngol yoto genga atje ko nai ko rajitul ko kole the county executive the county assembly does not oversight a person. It oversees the organ. Now, kaya nguno ko in Collins ngiu to ko langin petition ni gele yi. Kagile governor ne magat ko inege ne moy ko mongole mi au ngin portfolio ju. So imoy ko gure age climate change ko gure age ne yani wala ko girto nege
single handedly.
Yes, inege to moy ko mongole gure ni agriculture and what ko nguno ni bay ngoy ne banande jeji ko ne bo yin was ndi jeji ko jun jejwa ko la yi ko atebe ko visual jing ko len kerke ga sin gi ko ji county government kagalia se nyege le junguno ko ingava na ko kwa mwane nege ko gure ne in portfolio ju yi kagalia ma ko job kin ne standard to jenguno meji ku yo ko lizile ya ko mo guno to gele nguno agriculture ko ko department kele education ko department kele health ko department kumwa sheria ko kitana there kala sheria county executive committee section 46 ko responsible for organizing the county yani magle governor kaira nguna magle governor ko responsible for organizing portfolio koleni in section 46 county executive committee jejo departments and departments like portfolio ko gerke
me conflict of interest
gana kaburu ko nguno ngene zi ngono jobe ko ngeiweka nguno constitution ko gani article 235 kumwa ko le na haja county governments shall be responsible for establishing and abolishing offices county governments ko ngeiweka ko ranyi fa ijengile what does it mean what does county government mean in the constitution it means county executive and county assembly so my proposal is and that's why sigo igere ko rago tayin ya ginge ay ngalyon gi bado ke lyon ngi ge jigli tun ko ngab ge lawot bi manaji mengen ji ko lagi kagle ki mi ya nguno gi tun ge gure ne chief education officer and you see there is no such a position in county government line ko lagi mi ji to and even with a name yeah ne gi hold in that position but when we try to investigate go evan jijo the man and you know how it happened gi dungo betas ne gele jinat gi gi am sujui galega badu so now there was somebody called chief education officer there is no such a role the reason why I am proposing this is that every time you are going to give form in an office ko yo jagora get a representative jo vi gele see we are doing this can you agree with us And these are the reasons why we are doing that. Service board. So we have what we call as county service board. So that's another petition now. Organize and youth. So ko gergeit ko roge nyamzima mui mamiaja so ko jobo biji tukun jege gere ne ko lama jagol yayi ngogergeit ko rai ngogergeit counties tukul lakini ke aga tukul office daga tukul ngima jege job ke debe county assembly amo these are the representatives of the people as therefore now you can have sanity ke the style nyuto kidogo Collins ko leim ke mwa gele kagiri kwan county governor ko publication all formal decisions. All formal decisions of the county, the governor shall cause that to be published in the county gazette. Now the problem is, what are the formal decisions? It's not clear. It's not provided there again. These are the formal decisions that the governor and the county executive committee can make. Therefore, these should be included in the county gazette. That's number one. Number two, there are no timelines. Like for instance, let me give you an example of the county chief officers. Whenever there is a vacancy in the office of the county chief officer, the governor shall within 14 days. Go fill in. But what does the governor do? He proceeds to have somebody on acting capacity, first of all, which is against the law. Because that's against the law. It's against section 259, sabbatical 11. Any power which is shared shall not be exercised unless the other person. So one of the other things this petition wants to do away with, acting positions existing. Now let's look at it this way. So the governor has probably been within 14 days. So he does not make that decision. If somebody comes to ask Colin Kilias may make this decision, he can say, I have made the decision and I made it. He can backdate. So one of the other things therefore that I'm saying is this: first of all be from all formal decisions, let them be known. What are they? Two, let these decisions have a timeline. Well, three, let them have what we call an immutable timestamp. Singa make a decision, like Catherine Collins. I'm going to make an Iran. Because there is no way I can backdate it to last month. Because
this decision he publicized.
Yes, you are supposed to put it in the county gazette and everybody knows. I'm even proposing that every time such a thing happens, the county assembly should also be notified. The governor has made the following key decisions. He has probably done these and these. What we will do at this time. And now my proposal also is, if in case it does, that should provide a ground for removal. Whenever he makes decisions, and first of all, when he fails to make the decisions in time, like for instance, I know of several CEOs right now in Nandi who are in acting capacity, or we have CEO positions which are vacant for more than a year, probably. You see, how can it be when the law says within 15 days, within 14 days? Now, if this petition goes through, we do not expect to see that. A situation whereby you are saying somebody can stay, an office can stay vacant for a year.
Somebody can be on acting position.
Yes, even for a year also. And that acting is against the law. Because the Article 259, as I have told you, sub-Article 11 of the Constitution says, any power that can be exercised with another body must only be exercised as such. So you see that some of the times the governor decides on his own to appoint a CEO on acting capacity, when the law says a CEO can only be appointed by the governor with the approval of the county assembly. You see that? So that's how to appoint. Now let's proceed on to a few other things. Like for instance, now the same law now gives the power to the governor to appoint his deputy as a CEC. You see, this is the other area now. And in fact, the other day, after the ad hoc debacle and what have you found that our governor, chose to make his deputy as the acting CEC for health. Now, let's be very clear. 259. I want you to be sure about to be very clear about this. 259 sabbatical 11. You see, we must always have fidelity to the law. So, if you look at 259 sabbatical 11, it says this: if a function or power conferred to a person under the Constitution is exercisable by that person only on the advice or recommendation with the approval or consent of or in consultation with another person, that function may be performed or the power exercised only on that advice, on that recommendation, on that approval. So you see, like for instance now, look at a situation where the governor decides to say, okay, I'm putting my deputy as acting CEC health. You see, there is a procedure for having a CEC in place, whether acting or not. There is no acting CEC, first of all, in the law. Unless we were to provide. It's not there. There is no provision for saying this is an acting CEC. It's not there.
What will happen in case a CEC resigns?
He should just be replaced. What's the problem? A CEC has resigned, then the governor just appoints somebody else, the assembly vets, and then the person is in place. What's the issue? And that's the reason why we have a permanent governor, we have a permanent assembly. The assembly is always there.
So, kwa maoni yako, uoni haja ya
sioni hakuna acting, kwanza hakuna, it's not in the law. But then, we are talking about the deputy. Yes. So now, you see, the deputy is already somebody who is elected with the governor. They are elected together. Now, let me ask you, and the governor is referred to as the chief executive of the county. The deputy governor is the deputy chief executive. Now, let's look at it this way. So, you put your deputy as the CEC. Even, let's just imagine for purpose of conversation only, that this CEC, this deputy governor, first of all, must then be vetted in the assembly. So, deputy ni governor gele ngevetan sigi go CEC. Ngot ko yesio, ndato ko yesio the house ko le no mo qualify. Ko to ko yenyo ko testa ko deputy. Awage yesio ke laja, magagle ngese ko mo qualify.
Ga gorom kidogo.
Aya, ko ngot ko ngela nyoni ngela kagisesa gele soso. Acha ko testa kidogo ko maybe problem kidogo in department. Ko provide ngora sheria how to remove. And the way to remove kwa uchunguzi county assembly chako recommend to the governor kole stage hiyo ko yaga recommend ngoro the house kole remove that CEC. So but now me dengalioda kanga unne jam ko baisi bijuna le na gar ko ringa daga ko gile jiji ko to ni as governor whenever the governor is absent. So lagine the rogo ma disgana ngela absent ko ne gele na ko ta in constitution, by the way mag define the word absent in the constitution 260 ngiba jigeri in definition jeba ngalega bin kini commit ngalega to ko jiba jenge in constitution, they are defined in under article 260. So article 260 defines all of them. So I tried looking for absent. It's not there, and it's not also there in the County Government Act. So, but the law says, this County Government Act says, the deputy shall act as governor if the governor, whenever the governor is absent. But the question goes absent, the Konguru.
Alenia gawapita, for example.
Yeah, go kyagne. Kongura yi go gama jas kenda sheria gele yi. Ya absent ko wiyo. I have a proposal also. We do na amaje go absent jiji. Amaje ko leave. Amaje gi go leave ku bai dini alak to lage na gi go leave ne 30 days. Kuso gele nguno octani deputy governor every time you're absent governor, including yani particular chekele absent kwa you're me leave. Kwa kenge noto.
Nguno suggestion ile kikochi within the law keteshi leave governor.
Angi ibwati. Ketebi chito 14 years kikose kele me leave nguno en governor ju. Kikose kele kitangaza kele acha makunyoru governor me leave officially, and you see mama leave kityo. It should be also provided in the law whenever this person is on leave. Kumat ko touch on anything, mat ko sign on anything. Ngot ko 10 days, 20 days, ko during that period, he is on leave. He or she is on leave. And therefore, magonyo ko go office betu tagang kagele ingatikati yo on Monday ko ko sign on ni tukun na ngalyo maga kumbeto deputy governor so kumbeto kutumburi yani ba in ningabi ko ko len governor deputy governor ko mod nyagazi no men nyagazi ne yo liai au ngab ko mi jiji magat ko mi jiji leave sa zingine. But not only that, you see the governor might also be away on some journey to be that he is absent. And in that case konyo lokolia ko the deputy.
We have also seen situations governors wametoka nje ya nchi, for example.
Yes.
Ni kama tulisikia governor wetu wakati mwingine alikuwa ametoka out of the country. So does he always continue his duties as
That's the question. So you know in this petition I'm proposing that every time when the governor knows that he's going to be absent, either by dint of traveling outside the country or even traveling to Mombasa or wherever, or well whatever we will agree as being absent, he should write it down and over. He should write that I am away from office for the next 10 days, and that such communication should also be made available to the county assembly. Not for anything else, just for the county assembly should just be notified that for the next 10 days or 20 days the governor is on leave. So during this time, my deputy shall act on my behalf. And this should also follow for CECs and the deputy governor as well. Because these people can be there for 10 years without going on leave. And the reason why I'm giving this suggestion is, among other things, just even for the purpose of resting. I just don't want anybody to be attached so much to the office.
But what happens again to the other leaders, like the member of the Commonwealth as MCA?
Yeah. Like right now, I've been on recess for around 2 weeks or 3. When we get to December, we are on recess up to February. We go on rest. Yes. There's always a period for recess. Yeah. So at least during that period, you will agree with me, first of all, that our work is slightly special. Let me call it that way, in the sense that whenever you are with your people, sometimes you seem to also be going on with your work. But at least if you are not going into the assembly and you are not having the committees, you are on recess. So you can continue having conversations with the people, but you are on recess. The thing about these other officers is that these people always come to the office. They always take decisions, make decisions like you've heard about making formal decisions. And so they keep on being in office. And they even keep on sitting there without allowing anybody else to. And that's why I was telling you, maybe at this point, we could also, the Senate, after our conversation, might provide a rider that whenever a CEC is on leave now, then another person can stand in on his behalf, or the chief officer. So I'm looking forward to having that provided directly in the law, where we are saying that they can only be an acting CEC, or a CEO can act as a CEC whenever the CEC is on leave. Currently, the CEO can be operating a department from the comfort of their house somewhere abroad. And that's really very sad. We do not wish to have that kind of situation obtaining. You remember there was even questions about a certain other governor from a neighboring county to us who had gone apparently to some distant country, and it was not known whether indeed she had handed over to the deputy or not. I think there was also another governor from the lakeside area who there was a hue and cry about his whereabouts and so on, and then he suddenly appeared one day. I recall that the deputy said he had not spoken to the governor, to the county governor for some time, you know. And so what are we saying? In fact, there was even a suggestion that the governor had handed over to the speaker. And yet we have somebody who is already paid for, who is a deputy governor. Why would you want to do that? So these are the things I'm trying to cure. I want that cured. This question of absent must be defined very clearly so that it is known. And this other question about naming the deputy as a CEC should be done away with. Let the deputy be the assistant of the governor. And you see, it means that the deputy governor is cross-cutting. The moment you pigeonhole them into some docket, then you are reducing their power. So I'm suggesting to the Senate, and they agreed with me, that the governor cannot give powers he doesn't have. He cannot decide to make his deputy a CEC because already the deputy governor is a member of the county executive committee anyway, by dint of being elected. Because you see what the law says in 179 is that the membership shall be composed of the governor, the deputy governor, and at least maybe around 10 members. You see? So already the deputy governor is a member of this CEC. So there is no way you are making them any member anymore. They are already a member. You understand?
Yes,
so these are the things that I'm looking at in that. Now let's talk about this body that is called County Service Board. Amaja mo knowledge in Collins. King kongete king komanda governor netai. County Service Board could run only for 6 years, non-renewable, one term. So go meet the tunji one term, by the way, you know. So we had a one term non-renewable, 6 years. Kogi go to governor the boy, Konyo Rubijo go to Radi so around 2019, Kobegugazi, and they were moving out. So go nominated like Chaji. So what happens? He chooses not to include a secretary, first of all, in that first appointment. So there was no secretary to the board. Two, Nini Katakatia, Korizain and some other 2 members. Korizain and a chairman, and Korizain and a member. Now this body, Kumagat got a maximum of 7, a minimum of 5. So already he Magi the secretary. Korizain and Alaga. Kongatataw, Kangatangwan. Now, Kongatega to assembly. Korana Negorog in Governor Jogo get 2019. Chotangwan. I will go back 2022. Again, I'm 2022. I go. Can you know it? Kenda in all the Kenda chairman, again the secretary. Yeah, so going to complete this.
Rules to Babi Jugone.
You get your tone on Jigway. And that's why he got a jungle problem waiting in Nandi. Kumagana Muna, you guys big one. Konga deputy Yanaji than a vice chair. Kogan acting chair for almost 8 years.
Acting chair.
Mami secretary. So what have I said to the county? And I've looked at the law. I realized the law was silent first on when. What happens when you have a vacancy? Mamuagoleni, Magono timelines. So I'm asking the Senate to bring in timelines. That's number 1. 2, I'm asking the Senate to amend the law so that first it is the question about whether the board can be there without the chair or a secretary. I'm proposing to them that whenever the chair is vacant and secretary is vacant, then that board cannot function. I'm proposing to them. At least not for any length of time. It should probably act only under emergency, but it should be very limited jurisdiction so that you can replace. You see, like I'm telling you, the one that had been there, no chairman, no secretary, and some other members are not there for almost 8 years.
8 years.
So I want timelines to be put there, and I also want to have what we are calling thresholds. Now, I know, and I thank the president because he has been raising very, very pertinent conversations on how it is that we can move our country from third to first. Well, I must thank him for that because he is raising this. And in fact, today, I also saw somewhere where he said, Nairobi shall no longer be a city in the field. And I agreed with him. And we have so much field all over. Even in Kapsabet, Eldoret, so I'm in fact suggesting to him that let us just decide that Kenya shall be clean. And it is us who will clean it up. Now, one of the other ways of doing this is to ensure we cut down on costs. Now look, the law says that we can have these board members on part-time. First of all, you have heard it is between 5 and 7. Between 3 and 7, and then 5 and 7, but they can also be there on part-time. Now, we always put the maximum of 7, and we never put anyone on part-time. So I'm asking the Senate that since county governments spend nearly 80% of their monies to deliver 20%, I hope you understand what I'm referring to. Like if we get 10 billion, you see there's no justification why you should spend 8 billion for you to try and work with 2 billion. I think it should be reversed. We should have 2 billion, we should work with 2 billion or somewhere there to deliver 8 billion. Now, one of the ways I'm suggesting is that why don't we reduce on this? Why would we have board members being on full time when the law already says that they can be there on part-time? So I'm asking the Senate to come up with ideas of how we can have these people on part-time, and even if we can just say maybe the chair and the secretary can be there full-time, the rest of the members on part-time, they can be invited on a need-to basis. And I'm thinking that if we tie that area, then we will be good. May I probably mention some other 2 areas?
Okay.
One, the same law provides that the governor may dismiss a member of the county executive committee, may dismiss, without any explanation. So if he wakes up one morning and he thinks that he doesn't like the way probably one of the CCs is looking at him, he can just decide, I don't want you, so he sacks them. I'm proposing that cannot be the case because, as I told you, Article 179, the CECs, along with the governor, all of them exercise executive authority. And by the way, this is different from national executive.
But I thought also the CEC works under the mercy of the governor.
It shouldn't. But that's why I'm saying this is different from national executive.
Yes.
National executive says the executive authority of the nation is vested in the president. So unless we change the constitution and vest the executive authority on the governor, at the moment it is not vested in him or her, it is vested in a committee. So I'm suggesting this. Anybody who dares not offend cannot be honest. I do not see how a CEC, a member of the CEC, can tell the governor this is not right when he knows that after saying that he would have lost his job. So I'm proposing something. I'm saying whenever there is such a problem and the governor thinks that a CEC should be shown the door, then he should write a memorandum to the assembly to say, I would like to sack the following person because of 1, 2, 3, 4. And the county assembly looks at it. They may not even investigate. They will just look at it and say, and agree with him and say, oh yeah, we think that's right. Just proceed on. But I'm putting a threshold of at least 50%. Let there be 50% of the members voting to approve of such dismissals. Because we do not wish to have arbitrary dismissal. So in a nutshell, what I'm doing is to give the county executive committee members some sort of a degree of security, of tenure. It's not complete, but at least there should be a process through which they can be sacked. Now there's another small issue, the question of transfer. So the law again says that the governor may transfer from one docket to another. Now the problem is, if say we employed you And remember, I had mentioned to you earlier on that they must have a distinguished career in relevant to that area where they are being selected. So if you are being selected, say, for finance, it means you must be a CPA. It means you must be registered under ISPA. It's just, it's no brainer. I mean, it's just given. So if, say, that person, if you move that person, the CPA person, if you remove him from there and put, say, a teacher, you know, I was a teacher before, and I'm probably an environmental, I don't know anything about finance. Supposing the governor taps me for that, do I have a relevant career in the distinguished career in finance?
Okay, I see somebody hapa anasema we had a situation in Wasingishi where somebody from the livestock was moved to be the engineer.
No, look at that. So how do you move somebody? How can you move me to become an engineer of roads? In fact, you know, you'd be surprised. Somebody is in charge of roads. The job description is you should probably be an engineer, distinguished career. You should know. You should know how that works. But then anybody can be put anywhere. So I'm saying this should not be the case. The governor can only move these people if he writes a memorandum again for us to the assembly, and he says, yes, I have moved Collins from this docket. I'm proposing to move him here because I feel that he has got the following qualifications, and because he had already been vetted, then the county may just decide. The county assembly may just endorse and say, okay, well, we are satisfied. We agree with you. Other than that, I'm proposing to the Senate that any transfer be considered to be a reappointment, which will occasion vetting. And I think for purposes of sanity, there should be no reason why a governor can just move anybody at any time without any, due recall, with just having consideration as to the qualification of that person and so on. And for these counties to be run in a competent way, we must necessarily insist on this question of somebody having a career in that area, something having knowledge, somebody is being suitable to that place. It cannot just be, counties will never change so long as we pick anybody from anywhere without any knowledge. And the same case goes for chief officers. Chief officers, same thing. Let me give you an example. I'm an environmental, as I've said. When I got to the assembly, I asked the CEC, who was in charge of the docket of environment at that time, okay, so does the county attend, COP? Because there was a COP coming up, Conference of Parties, and UNFCCC. And the guy, the fellow was asking, but the waziri was asking me, what is COP? I just gave up. I couldn't continue because, you see, you are running a docket, you are supposed to know, you are supposed to be an expert, but you know nothing. So that's the question of transfer. The same thing goes for CEOs. I have also, reached out to the Senate to ask them, if when it comes to the CEOs, again, if they are being employed because of certain competencies in a department, like for instance, say, Department of Roads. So you have been interviewed for that. One of the things probably they would check is whether you are an engineer or something. So they take you in as Chief Officer Roads. Now, shortly after that, you are transferred to Chief Officer Health. You have no idea about health. So, and you're supposed to run health. You're even supposed to be requisitioning drugs. May I ask you, how can you do that?
Impossible, it is hard.
So I'm asking the Senate that this area be sanitized. If as chief officer should be moved, then it should be to an area where he has competencies. And if he doesn't, then he should be retained, or probably if he really required to be moved, then maybe he can move elsewhere. The other thing about chief officers is that currently the law, the County Government Act does not provide for how the county assembly can deal with these people, in the sense that the county assembly approves them, it vets and approves them. But the county assembly then after that does not have any power over them. It can even summon them, ask questions, but then after that they have no way of punishing them according to the law. It's not there. It's not provided clearly. So I'm asking the Senate to provide for how the county assembly can punish or even remove chief officers. I forgot something very important where the CECs are concerned, in the sense that, you see, the same CECs, as we've said, exercise executive authority. And apart from the idea of being moved from one docket to another, there is the question also of, there is the question of this plurality in terms of, the purposes of county government. County governments was to enhance what we are calling, unity, and by accepting diversity. Now you will go to certain places. I was even shocked the other day when I saw the governor of this great county here. I decided to have a board to run the municipality, and there was absolutely nobody else. I could see that it was just made up of one community. And you've seen people have gone to court. Yes. I mean, this is a multi-ethnic city. So why on earth would you want to put one group of people? It's the same thing with the CECs. I expect that minorities and other communities and so on should be involved. In any case, there is a requirement in law that all these employments within the county should have an infusion of other Kenyans, maybe even up to 30%. And in fact, I'm suggesting the same thing where it comes to the county service boards, that among the board members, there should be at least 2, I'm proposing that way, that at least 2 should come from outside the county, and they should not be members of the dominant community. Just to try and to avoid situations where people can sit down, we want to become a first world country. And the way to become first world country is by ensuring that we stick to the narrow parts of the law, Okay. And mostly about 183. In my some of the important decisions. One of the things about important decisions is the budget implementation. I'm proposing that. I'm proposing that budget implementation be considered as an important formal decision. County Assembly budget. Executive. Expecting you know governor on Gioda Leji Kigan or Gasano or Runiga Assembly Rabbinic. And then report back on financials. At the moment, there may be any requirement for, in fact, the county assemblies normally don't receive the financial reports, at least not full. Control of budget. Just the other day, accounts, statements. Surely, in 15 years, county governments, they will have probably gobbled up anything close to 100 billion. Yeah, 1 billion. 100 billion. 100 billion. 3 billion. Also, 3 billion. You got 90 billion. 3 times 30. So what happens? Really, where is the money? In fact, I'm proposing also, and I'm happy that Mbadi, the other day, I listened to him. He had a presentation. He appeared in Citizen. We want to talk about planning. Is there value for money in projects? I was already proposing something like that, that the Auditor General, or indeed maybe there can be another body, Negilen meet the Office of the Auditor General and I go meet somewhere else, process in a project identification, project implementation, a project use. You will be surprised. In Kunguna County Assembly, we have a ultra modern, it should have been like that, ultra modern county assembly, which must have gobbled something close to $1 billion, if I'm not wrong. I don't give a shit. You know, if you've gone to where we sit, there is that new building there. It's new, you see, and new in quotes, because it's been there for probably more than 10 years. Now, you see, why would you do that? Why would you use $1 billion for a project that then never gets used for so long? Because things begin to fall apart, and you've not occupied it, you're not using it. So I'm proposing that a mechanism be established. I took me as Koranga Janga Galen Muno team Mejito. Galen Muno is in maybe Gumajama Governor is Gugir, Mama is young, is in Anagale in Gatem as well. Maybe Gatem Munogalega in accountability, transparency, and what have you. I ask some difficult questions. Then he might choose to say, I do not like this guy. So what does he do? He could come in the Golosos get him and Galam again. I go Ologis Wimbies and go no see the two rather than you know rather than making one ending be. And that's part of the reason why I go one of the things because the state of the roads in various places, and I'm having in the petition also, among other things, I'm seeking to solve an issue. Name got governor 10 years without ever going to any of the sub-counties for any serious engagement. So I'm looking forward to a time when the governor does not go to a sub-county to launch, say, a kettle deep, or to launch an ECD classroom. Our ECD classroom, maybe Tom Genda playground, materials, maybe the teachers also are not well taken care of, like you would understand that kind of circumstance. So I'm looking at the systems. How do you ensure, for your information, a county governor is 1 hour, and a county governor can cost something close to maybe between 10 and 20,000.
1 hour.
Just 1 hour for you to have the governor. 1 hour, 20,000. It's one of the things that get reduced in maybe the net effect of this petition would be to reduce also on that kind of thing, because we want to know we want to have performance-based management, so that like. If a governor chooses to go to, say, he wants to travel to Nairobi, do we, activities, alanga formal. I go do the formal, for Nandi, so we want to look at situations where we can have a governor having a work plan, which indicates we don't expect somebody to say, I went 2 years. And Collins game maybe ticket Nikita cost 25,000, go send 20,000 1 way. And another to have in Galjaji, like power, he does that. So yes.
Nilikuwa nafikiria there is always a mechanism whereby when they are distributing, for example, the county resources, distributed equally among the members of the county assembly, for example, and among the wards, that county assembly.
No, you get it. As it is called, that one is only true on paper, in the sense that we normally take the easy approach, which I would like to do away with, first of all, because 2 ECDs per ward, and that's what is done. So what is 30 ECDs? So you do 2, that's 60. I know, across board. Like the problem comes in here this way. Kagemwa nguno kunoto kele all wards kotinye 2 ECDs. Satya komi chekajakta che konyor ECD chechwak korok haraka aketar akelipan. Komi ECD nguno mara chi komi olosos nebo olosos kotom ketoi. Yani ngetore financial year kotom kotoi.
Lakini mito on paper.
Yeah, it's there. Ngundetebe kele ne acha mi kikipangan oroni. So you see, you have, and you know this something is also works with the what we call fiscal space. So imagine maybe kanget projects chebo olosos ana ko some other ward nekaker kele meche ketim chito. Ko makechot. Kwotin June. Kotun ngebendi the next financial year, itinye tukun chekure work in progress. Chekachanga. Chetom kenget chetom kedilene. So there is always something wrong when it comes to the implementation. So the devil is in the details. The implementation. Aya kero. If you were to go to say a county right now, agileji go na plan ngong de barabara che. Yani ONA, what are you doing? Can we see what is the strategy? You will be surprised kele. First, there is no strategy. There is nothing negele ninguno ni sure kabisa kele in me give me ora the never so spetu ne uni. I can tell you there is a year nigiwa a full year. Mabo mazini je ko county olosos. Kot ye.
Kaya kitimen.
Ika sa kitu nguno kele na kagule myono ngale na tape la ja huwa kagule myono ngolo. Yani kakifo kawala ka sinyana ne nguno sio teba mu debe no wananchi. Kongete bana wananchi atebe maybe CC atebe ngo. Yani hii gomo ko jol mo mai ki beti galang le dolo. Ko ka tama ko kai sine nguno ora lakini kuto kumite an issue. Still yani because katagara randa ko meet the systematic approach. Nigingengele hii. We are dealing with these roads cheba olosos. We are dealing with roads cheba jekunyu kichota ko jikita tegesnyen. We are dealing with roads cheba Nandi Hills. We are dealing with roads cheba Kapchorwa. And they could even sit down. We could even sit down with them, with the team. This is our program, and then they go ahead to do it. But at the moment, they don't do that. And not only that, there is also another issue. Mabaishe science. Kigia mwangu tugelore tunguno ya kumeje kujobu koge gudu. Yani nyona grade this. Nyi waste ngungu nyegole. Acha ilele maram kongot kogelun I compa I nyoru roll like because that's not how the road is made. According to me, that's not the way it should be. There should be science in it. Magat ke designer no rather major. Magata kot ke na gele what is the gradient? Where do you put the culvert, for instance? You see, you must use technology. You must use science. This is not used right now. There is a problem.
There's a few questions.
Okay, yes.
Honorable Shangu's petition is not of any interest to common Mwananchi. I expected Honorable Shangu to have petitioned Senate as an upper house to push for an amendment on the Article 203 of the Constitution on the allocation of resources to the counties to be increased from at least 15% to 30%. This will greatly impact on development at the counties right now.
Muja waljiga majale gongoi you know anga moj gongoi gwiji no kuma tek chengoni si ka assume guyo galein meet the problem rabinik guyo galein the issue the problem of the county is resources no the problem of county is misuse of resources, misapplication of resources, stealing of resources. Ara hii nguna hii ngoto kujore in ngoto kwa jamke jore in ngoto ngela go mut awo kujore mut ile kaya atas ko ektaman senya kaya jor taman. So nguna here what I'm doing is to first of all close those. We can do a lot of work with the money that is already here. However, yes, as we go forward, part of the reason why we have county governments, we don't need to rely on national government. That was just a temporary measure. And for your information, Singapore. Do you know how big Singapore is? How big is it? Nandi go 4 times the size now of Singapore.
Nandi County?
Yes, Nandi County. Singapore can fit into Nandi County 4 times. Lakini nguno economy nebo Singapore ko 4 times nebo Kenya. Kenya mzima metene barandi. So you know, it tells you there's a lot that can be done. Makarnatin ni miyu. Meje geisto serkwenatet, meje geisto incompetence, meje geisto chornatet. The moment you do away with those things, first of all, if you cannot be trusted with a small thing, how can you be trusted with more?
Guna, your interest is now how this little amount will be.
Yes, and then after once we are okay with this, then we can move on. We can have more resources. We can even become wealthy. Then we are better off. I mean, we can create wealth for ourselves. Okay. In fact, one of the rules of a county governor county competitive. You know, it's a role nobody ever looks at. Competitive. Nengos those people like Jamil Dagoleni, maybe Tilil, Leon, Coroner's Vitalik, Coroner ECD. So people can come here and say, that's not a question of amending the law to get more money.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course that's one of the things that can be done. But right now, we must change. First of all, we must be accountable as a government right now. And transparent.
County Assembly's responsibility has been heavily vested to oversight executive apart from legislation and representation. This is the house which should stand up to their mandate in the devolved units.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why here at the moment, 183. 183, I told you. My petition was to breathe life to Article 183. Because the moment the executive is required to really be, present whatever is required according to Article 183, then we are good. At the moment, and that's why probably with all the invitations you've seen, but then which person, which governor has ever been prosecuted because he went to Senate? No.
Mami man, lakini kikigur nani Moses Kajwang, ne chairman wa committee na watu wa Senate. Kule did me implementations kikopita ko bayin grilling the governors. Kikato mo for example, kikale governor ne bo kale taitu tameto. Ne after grilling ko kikiwe grabisha.
Well, maybe kidogo ara kota je kuno ginga in no giga magigata ke to biga lang golia. But what we want to see ko gine bagla. Yani ako suggestion yana lazima ko taune accountability county assembly. So I think he said he's also running for Senate. I mean, there is no problem. He can also decide to present that petition in that so that we can have more money. But then at the same time, his county assemblies. And the way to have county assemblies functioning is by effecting Article 183. In county executive go the reports go county assembly. So I am saying that let the chair of this county executive committee be answerable to the people through the county assembly. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Good governance.
Andrew Kiprotito, a great presentation, my brother and friend, my college mate. And I remind Shangu that is a compliment. The president created a position for prime cabinet secretary, which is not in the constitution. Can Honorable Shangu tell us how did that happen?
Let me tell you. The issue of acknowledging the executive authority of the nation vests in the president. So the president can have an executive order. He can do something, he would have an executive order and create. But a governor cannot. So whether or not, I don't think prime cabinet. I think it's just a question of semantic. Let's just agree in prime cabinet is a cabinet secretary. Okay. That's my understanding of it. That's an office constitutional. Did you see him getting vetted for prime cabinet?
We didn't see.
He was vetted for. He was vetted for minister.
For minister. So, if your petition succeeds, what changes should the citizens expect to see?
They will be tremendous changes, because first of all, what we want to strengthen county assemblies. But I'm also urging the citizens to check. It's important. The quality of people who you are going to elect matter. Yeah, they do. So you don't, if you don't get good quality leaders coming in, then you don't be surprised. Because if you are not looking at the quality. So, and everybody also, I'm looking forward to a time when the conversation will turn this way, Collins, that a governor would say, I am ready and willing to answer questions in the assembly. Why can't the governor do that? Like, for instance, the governor in assembly questions, I would have been okay. My people would have seen probably who has not done roads and what have you. You have seen, I've read to you,
yes.
The functions of county executive committee, among other things, is to coordinate and manage the departments and the services. So if these guys are the ones who are running the services, like for instance, I can give you an example. One of the other days recently, wala kami tay ngalyo na ngone ndogole ko tebe si gole ji si moji ne wo in MCA ko jongo jobu jore so yana ka ngedi ko tebe ko moji si
ko le moji ne wo MCA
ko le moji ne wo MCA jongo jobu jore danga kay nguno yi si ak MCA ko ngone directly responsible for giving services. Is it not the CC?
Yeah, it's true.
But now even he accepted and called me. But then I laughed first of all. It's their job. But for me, it's my link. Yes, I am supposed to link. So whenever my people tell me, because I would go around. Then whenever I see that, I can bring it to the attention of the county executive. But can I tell you something? You see, we also have somebody, a very senior officer, within the wards, Negure ward admin. We have another senior officer, Negure sub-county admin. You see, it's not as if the governor is blind to this. So, in fact, at the end of the day, responsiveness. So, I'm suggesting that we cannot run this responsiveness. You know, legalize and everything. You know, you cannot put everything in law. So, I will be responsive. Now, look at another thing. In county governor, senator. I can tell you, the current governor did not sit on his own as senator there. The senator now has not done it either. I don't know whether he plans to do it in the time to come, but he has not to sit down with the leaders to the county assemblies. How can things be done better? We also have a law which was passed by the county and signed by the governor. This governor, the governor who is here now, leaders forum, Nandi leadership forum. He is the convener. He put himself there as the convener. He has not convened it. So every society also, at the end of the day, you have to sit down, even as leaders. Okay, well, what is it that we can do better? You take a SWOT analysis, as they say. You look at the hits and misses. But we hardly ever do that. Like, what is do you know the vision for the goal for the current CIDP? Has anybody ever brought it to your attention. For instance, already CID never CIDP never nandi. Never 2027. Okay, well, so there is a CIDP here. This is what they are targeting to do. Usually there is a problem here. And the CIDP, CIDP, we do not have funds as county assembly to do to do a research on those CIDPs. Those plans were implemented. But I wish there was something even from maybe county executive to say, okay, there was this first one, there was a second one, and a third one. We are doing the third now. How are we doing in as far as implementation is concerned? So that's the issue.
Okay. Mheshimiwa, some people might say that you're using this petition for political mileage.
It could be possible. I mean, when you say political mileage, I mean, you do your things. I mean, if you are a runner, for instance, they are doing what their thing. So I'm doing my thing. If somehow it gives me headway, then that's okay. What's wrong with that? What should I do? Isn't that so? Shouldn't it be that my key role, among other things, is to look at the questions of how governance is organized? Yes. And if somehow people then think that it is okay, that maybe I've done well, and they might consider to give me some other role, then that's okay. Like right now, as I've told you, I'm running for Senate itself because I'd like to go in. By the way, this is just a tip of the iceberg. There's more. There's a lot more that needs to be reorganized. In fact, we agreed with that committee that probably we might want to overhaul.
Do you plan to follow up with more legislative reforms in the future?
Yes, I do. Not in the future, even now. There are a few more that I want. Like, for instance, when it comes to, say, the position of nominated member of county assembly, I'd like something done about that. In the sense that, people can elect, yes, that's okay. So we can even use maybe an ID or something for that election. Because you allow the people to make their own choice. But now, you see, parties are given an opportunity to select or to nominate. My suggestion is, this person who is nominated should, as of necessity, add serious value to the assembly, in the sense that they should have certain competencies that are considered, so that when they come in, they can beef up whatever was missing. If people did not elect people who are probably, say, experts or professionals, then we can, apart from probably filling up the gender, it should also include filling up the question of competencies and what have you. And there's something else there also. I'm thinking that because Kenya is a multi-party country, maybe we can consider the issue of, like right now we are in broad-based. So we have our friends in ODM. Probably when we go to election, we would have people in this area of ours elected under UDA, our party. But now I'll be suggesting, and I do not know whether Kenyans will agree with me, that in areas like that where you have a house purely made of one party, then maybe it should be considered as one of the considerations to nominate people from the other party, so that we can have an infusion of, we can have fidelity to the Constitution, because the Constitution says Kenya shall be a multi-party state. And it doesn't mean that you just have parties in name. We should have parties in the legislative assemblies. And I'm thinking that, if say you have elected 100%, and maybe nearly 100% UDA in a place like, say, Nandi,
yes,
maybe it can be considered to have some other nominees, so say, from ODM, because we would have run, so that we can have an infusion of different ideas. And these are, after all, anyway, they are friendly parties, so they shouldn't be no problem at all. It should just probably be just a difference of ideas. But what I'm trying to do is to avoid a situation where we may end up morphing into singular parties. I don't think it serves the interest of anybody to have members of an assembly coming from one party Totally.
Yes, that is true. Maybe tukimalizia tu, what are the challenges that you have faced so far while you are presenting this petition?
Well, apart from the idea that it took a bit of time, because it's been nearly 4 months or so from the time I presented to them, and there's usually a timeline. But now I'm happy that when they made a communication, they said that within 60 days, they should present back a report to the House, to the Senate. So I want to believe that in between, we will have that retreat and then be able to move forward. But what I can say is that, yes, that delay, but otherwise, other than that, there's been no issue. The Senate has been quite responsive. They were very kind to invite me and to have a conversation with me that lasted probably nearly an hour. And now they have said also that we will have conversations live, physical, where we can probably break down some of these. In a nutshell, maybe for friends like the one who asked about Article 205 and so on, that I would like to tell them that when we got devolution, we were not getting for ourselves kings as governors. We were not doing that. We want servants. So I look forward to a time when, if this is put into place, then we have servants as opposed to having kings. And we do not want anything that is whimsical, where somebody decides, even on the roadside or whatever, or you hear somebody who is a member of the board. Remember, board, I told you the service board is supposed to last 6 years, one term, non-renewable. One time, I will tell you, one of the board members, I overheard them saying to, in a meeting, kwamba sisi ni watu wa mkono wa governor, but they are independent. Yes. In fact, even for you to remove them from office, they are considered as judges. So you can only remove these people once. You can only remove them after a tribunal is put in place. So you see, these are serious officers, but right now they have been compromised because of certain discrepancies in the certain gaps, the ones that we have addressed, and there are others. Like, for instance, maybe this is the last one. We should not forget this. We should not forget this. There is something I'm suggesting to and this came because of the experience we had with the ad hoc committee. You will agree with me, there was a serious research. There was witnesses coming in, there was one, and they gave evidence. And as far as I'm concerned, there was quite a bit of what we would want to call prima facie evidence. But then the county assembly probably not agreeing. They were going to vote it out. So what am I suggesting? That whenever a report comes from an investigative process, and evidence has been brought in, then the House shall not negate that or reject that report just on voting only. The evidence must be considered. So you can only reject a report by controverting the evidence. So if say the evidence came up that said somebody stole something, and probably it's clear that there was no such stealing, or the evidence says there was a flagrant abuse of the law, and probably by looking at the evidence and corroborating, you find that maybe there was really no abuse of the law, no abuse of office, then you can reject. But now you you don't reject on the face only without looking at the merits. So that's another suggestion that I'm having. I hope the Senate will agree with me that is the case. And you remember also that there was a time, I think, when Linturi, when they were removing him, they had voted to remove him from office, but the smaller committee, saved him. That kind of thing. That's what I'm looking at. But now you see that was on the removal of the CS. What I'm looking at also is whenever you have a report, you see a committee goes to investigate and brings up a report which says we found Collins, so and so culpable. Then the House just votes, and somebody says, I vote no, and then the report is rejected. I don't think, for me, I have a feeling that that is waste of public resources. It should not be allowed. That there is a serious investigation only for the House to come and say, no, we don't agree, we don't accept the report. So this is the area. I'm suggesting that a section be brought in to address that. Okay. So that is not allowed.
Sawa mheshimiwa, tukimalizia maybe in just 2 minutes or less, ungependa kuambia nini watu wa Nandi ambao wanawatch kipindi?
Okay, madale jag biik am Nandi kongoi korok eng biik chekaib choit ak chekakokas ngalek chekomwoi. Chuto chu melen ngalek che final anan kele in atitinye kiyokile makitore ngomno. So ngalek chu ko kasajishet. Nyolu kityo kengalale. Komi chi age netinye ngolyon nekitesyin ketesyi, komi age nekere kole uyo to manachi keisto komasta age kelyot. So kakingololi kityo sikehakikishan kele serikalishekyok chebo county chuto mengechen chu ko kakikwer ing oret neimuch kokonech logoek. Kongete kingesainan constitution nenyo tarik 27 arap 8 sait 4 ak dakikaishek 23 ko kikibwotchini kongete yoto kele kitou kenyoru logoek chekikakipromisenech kele kinyoru. Kameche amwa ale eng bahati mbaya anan kipkel neya kotomo, lakini ameche alechok Nandiek ak biik tugul sine chebo Kenya kora chekere akokosei imukoksei kewal serikalishechu aketanan koba lainda nekararan. Imukoksei ngalechu, matkolechin chi memukoksei. Imukoksei kora ketokoste kongete third world akoi first world kuyo komwoe president nenyo His Excellency William Arap Ruto. Ako ngolyo nebo komonut noto lazima ketokoste kongete third to first. Akamoche asomok Nandiek alechok let us all make Nandi great again. Amu kikanyo koker chumindet olikinye kokait 1900 akole oye bokwongut bichu ongetokoste kebe yoto ngobiruro Kiptayat.
Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of today's episode of the Arena Show. Remember, this is the place where we give our leaders the voice, and to the citizens we give you the perspective. We have been speaking with MCA for Oleso's ward, Honorable Maina Shangu. Now, surely his petition imeweza to stir up the country. It has become a national debate, and amekuwa to explain what it means for the county governance. Anyway, asanteni sana. See you next time. My name is Colin Sambai, and this has been the Arena Show. Thank you so much and have a good night.